How's it going, everyone? Well, I'm doing a live stream, and guess who it is? It is Debbie Downer Donnelly coming back at you guys. Yes, you heard it right. Debbie Downer Donnelly. Now, I'm coming clean. It's time for me to come clean. Over these past 4 years, ever since the fall of 2015, it was September 21st, 2015, when I embarked on my very first day as a graduate student in the field of exercise science. Up until about a couple of weeks ago, I must say, it's been pretty much a Debbie Downer time in my life. Now, before I get to the Debbie Downer stuff, I want to start off with some positive things, because after all, this is going to be a Debbie Downer video, or at least talking about my Debbie Downer saga. But before I get to that, I figured I'd start off with some of the positive things that's really been happening, especially these past couple of weeks, because what I am going to do is I am attempting to make a bid to get myself a job as a data analyst before the end of the year, and ideally perhaps before even the end of the summer. Yes, I am making a bid to get myself a job as a data analyst, potentially as early as the end of summer. And I came across this website, Udacity. They were offering 30 free days because of the pandemic and how people are out of work and they're going to be looking for new skills to be able to find work and such. Well, I opted for their data analyst nano degree program. And so I'm not going to be able to finish the whole program in a month, but it's going to take me a couple months, maybe 2 or 3 months. So it's going to be a worthy investment. And it consists of doing 5 projects. The first project is pretty simple. It might take me 2 to 3 hours to complete. I'm actually working on the second project right now. And from what I've read on forums is if you really want to stand out, they recommend you spend around 20 hours on each of the 4 remaining projects. And right now, I probably spent about 13, 14 hours on the second project, and I'm not even halfway done with it. So it's a lot of work, but it's challenging, but it's also pretty enjoyable because I get to see if I can figure things out, see how good I am at being self-sufficient, because when you do finally get a job as a data analyst and try to work your way up to a data scientist, you've got to be really self-sufficient. Sometimes there's not going to be anyone else that you can really rely on help from, so you've got to be resourceful, learning to look online, find resources to find the answers, and that's what this program actually teaches you to do. I mean, they give you the tools, but they also encourage you to look online if you're running into difficulty. They teach you to be resourceful. And these projects demonstrate that you actually have the skills to be able to go through the entire data analyst process. So I'm pretty hopeful, because what happens after you complete the 5 modules and the 5 projects is, from what I've read, and I've done some serious research, is they have some career counselors that you can work with through this website, Udacity, and they also help you tailor your LinkedIn account so they can spice up your LinkedIn account, or give you ways to like spice up your LinkedIn account, make it more presentable. They can look at your GitHub so they can find flaws in my GitHub and find ways to improve on the GitHub presentation to potential employers out there. So not only do they help you really get the skills by giving you hands-on experience by working with world data sets, but they also give you other means to like improve your online presence, whether it's through LinkedIn or GitHub or whatnot. So I'm about, like I said, I'm working on the second project. This first project, it'll take me, like I said, maybe 2 or 3 hours to complete, so I'm not too worried about that one. And so I'm already a month ahead of schedule for the program itself, and I'm hoping to stay at least a month ahead of schedule, and hopefully I can be done with the program by July, maybe even a little sooner, but I'm going to aim for July. And then from there, I can touch up on my resume, work on my LinkedIn account, work with the local WorkSource personnel at my local area, and see if they can help me potentially find a job as a data analyst before I even start my master's degree in exercise science. So how nice that would be to actually be able to pursue my master's degree in data science. Hopefully I said data science, while at the same time working as a data analyst, because then I'm doing the stuff that I'm going to be studying at my work, and then I can really focus on more of the advanced topics like machine learning and using advanced algorithms and like all these like artificial intelligence and so forth. So I can really focus in on more of the advanced topics, while at the same time I'm getting daily practice with Python programming or R, statistics, probability. So it's a win-win situation, because here's how it is. Getting myself a job as a data analyst will put an end to the Debbie Downer saga. And so how it is I'm going to say this. Like I've probably said this many of other times relating to the field of data science. I am certain there is a science to being a successful Debbie Downer. And what do I mean by that? How can someone be a successful Debbie Downer? Well, for any of you who are currently friends on my Facebook or may have come across my Facebook in the past, I've had 2 or 3 different accounts. I've finally settled in on one account, but it's safe to say that over the past 4 years, I have probably lost over 100 friends. You heard that right. 100. I have broken the century mark in terms of friends deleting me from their friends list. And why that is, it's most likely probably because of my Debbie Downer posts. Now, here's a really interesting thing that really fascinates me, and I'm really intrigued by it, is there are other people who I follow, and they will post Debbie Downer post after Debbie Downer post. And I mean like super high frequency, like multiple times a day. And they gain friends in their Facebook. I mean, they are gaining new friends. And I mean, they're getting support. Like, there's this one person I follow, and Debbie Downer post after post, his struggles, depression and such. And he'll get like comments like saying, he'll receive comments like, "You're never alone. You can always call me. If you need anyone to talk to, I'm right here. Or you come visit me. You don't need to be alone. Come visit me." Or we've been friends for a long time. So it's like certain individuals are able to garner so much support and even have people hand out their phone number. Yes, there are Debbie Downer artists out there who are able to even garner so much support through their postings of being depressed, lonely, that they're even able to get people's phone numbers. So what I'm saying is there is a science to being a successful Debbie Downer. Whereas other people, if they're a Debbie Downer like myself, post, like here are some of the examples of some of the postings I would post on Facebook. Like for instance, no girl is going to want to date me because I'm $100,000 in debt, or I'm never going to be good enough for a girl because I'm still living with 4 random roommates, or I'm never going to get it and find myself a girlfriend because I'm just not good enough. I'm so much in debt, still live with roommates, I'm 45 years of age, I just don't stack up. Or it's another minimum, I just got myself another minimum wage job, or I can't seem to find a job working more than minimum wage, or I'm working another monotonous, mundane job. Post after post, Debbie Downer. I'm pretty certain you probably have software engineers at Facebook or data scientists at Facebook who probably want to gather data on their users, and they can just look up your user ID. They can go to a database and they can select all the postings from particular users. They can put these postings through a machine. An algorithm, and they can determine whether these posts are positive posts or negative posts, and they could probably come up with their own classification system, and they could label these posts as either successful posts, dramatic posts, or Debbie Downer posts. And I'm sure if they've got onto my ID, they've probably noticed that the frequency of my Debbie Downer posts has been significantly much higher these past 4 years. Ever since embarking on my journey with a master's degree in exercise science, my Debbie Downer posts have probably had an increased frequency. And so it's time to put that frequency, and it's time to put this Debbie Downer saga to an end. So yeah, I am most certain there is a science to being a Debbie Downer, and how some people can actually gain new friends on their Facebook or on social media by being a Debbie Downer. I mean, they could post things like, I'm just never going to be good enough. I'm not, I'm a nobody. I could leave this world and no one would ever know for months, or something could happen to me and no one would ever find out. And yet they could end up, you look at their friends list, and next thing you know, they've got 2 or 3 new friends, and they've got people saying, "You're never alone. You are worthy. Come visit me sometime." Whereas other people, they'll have friends drop like flies. Literally. And I'm in that category. So if you were to make a classification system of the successful versus the unsuccessful Debbie Downers, I would fit into the second classification of where I don't know the art to being a successful Debbie Downer. So when I post too many postings on my Facebook and such, my friends drop like flies. It's insanity. So here it is. So pretty much, I'm hopeful that I'm going to make a bid to get myself a job as a data analyst in conjunction while pursuing a master's degree in exercise science, because you know what that's going to enable me to do? It's going to enable me to put the Debbie Downer saga to rest. So Debbie Downer number 1, debt. Oh, these past 4 years, I have realized that I'm nearly $100,000 in student loan debt, plus my credit card debt, plus car payment. And so it's like, what girl's going to want to go out with a guy that's so much in debt? I mean, even who's going to want to be a friend with someone who's so much in debt? They're not going to be able to afford to do anything. You're going to have to pay for their gas. You're going to have to pay for their food. You're going to have to pay for like their tickets to go to a concert. So, I mean, it's just like Debbie Downer after Debbie Downer. So Debbie Downer number one, debt. How would getting a job as a data analyst and working my way up to a data science remedy that? Well, I would have the money to be able to afford to do things. I would be able to pay off my debt. I would be more financially secure, which is actually one of the leading causes of divorce, I want to say, is financial difficulty. So that's Debbie Downer number one. Debbie Downer number two, living situation in terms of roommates. Yes, I've had to live with random roommates these past 4 years. The key word, random. And that's when it becomes really sketchy. And it's interesting because my roommate actually came across my previous blogging video. And let's just say it was interesting to say the least. But it goes to show that anyone can come across your video. But let's just say that living with random roommates presents its challenges. I mean, let's just be honest, because you're living with someone you know nothing about. And you're going to have to put up with their pet peeve, you're going to have their pet, you're going to have your pet peeves. You're going to have to put up with their habits, and it's a great cause for conflicts. And it's a situation that is going to easily be remedied by myself getting a job as a data analyst. That's why I'm really in hot pursuit in finishing this nano degree from Udacity, because actually getting a job as a data analyst, I will no longer have to settle for having to live with random roommates, having to settle to live in a place that doesn't require first and last month's plus security deposit, which is the reason why I'm living in this current apartment, is because I didn't need to have the thousands of dollars of first and last month's rent plus security deposit. But the price I pay for it is I have to live with random roommates. And like I said, I mean, that's really, I mean, and it's challenging for the other roommates because they don't know who I am. They don't know who the other roommate is. So from my experience, even the other people that I roommate with, they don't even like the situation. And for all I know, my roommates could probably think of me as like, they could probably be scared of me. They could think like, oh gosh, I don't know anything about that guy. That guy's probably socially awkward. That guy's weird. So it's kind of a two-way. It's kind of like a two-way thing. I mean, how I'm feeling, I'm sure my roommates probably felt the same way. So random roommate situations, no muy bueno. That's all I gotta say. No muy bueno when it comes to random roommates. So that could be put to an end. Living locations, location. Now, like I mentioned, these past 4 years, I have had the worst living conditions of all time. Even worse than when I was living in a trailer park inside of a trailer in Yakima, Washington, at the age of 16. Yes, I am living in worse living conditions, because not only is the apartment, it might not look so run down when you saw my video a while ago giving a tour of the apartment, but that was because it was clean. But if you look really closely, I've already made a video really detailing the details of the apartment. You would see that it's really run down. It's really old building. Pipes are old. The bathtub doesn't drain properly. Toilet doesn't really, toilet always gets clogged up. Using baseboard heaters. I mean, and the location, I'm pretty much right next to campus. I'm like in the worst possible spot for someone with my condition to live in. Here I am, 45 years of age, single, living amongst a crowd of college students. I mean, it's like that song from the Animals. You know how they say, like, we gotta get out of this place if it's the last thing we ever do. I just gotta change that word we to I. I gotta get out of this place if it's the last thing I ever do. It's like, I'm watching my dad's hair turn gray while I'm sitting here stuck in this location because I don't have the money to get myself into a better, decent living environment. But like I said, finishing this nano degree, touching up my LinkedIn, touching up on my GitHub, and get myself a good data analyst job will put that to an end. So that's Debbie Downer number 3. Debbie Downer number 4, prolonged singlehood. Yes, as a result of being in debt, living with roommates, my looks aren't the best. I'm going to be honest. I don't have the best looks. I'm not that attractive. But it doesn't mean, though, that I can't get myself a woman. It just means I have to really improve in other areas. I have to improve on my personality. I have to improve on my other assets. And part of those assets are being financially secure, being comfortable with yourself, being comfortable with yourself is having confidence in yourself. Like if you have your own place to live, you're confident, you're self-supportive. You're able to handle yourself. You don't need to have roommates to help pay the rent. You can eat a good diet. That's going to help. That can help with your mood as well. Proper diet. financial security, having your own place to live, paying off debt. That's going to increase your chances of being able to pay off debt. That's going to enhance your mood. Better mood's going to enhance your personality. Enhanced personality is going to make up for your flaws. So that's going to help overcome my lacking looks by kind of improving on other qualities of my life. So that's Debbie Downer number 4 that could be eradicated by making this career switch. Debbie Downer number 5, and I'm having a struggle on this last one. I can't think, what was it? Oh yeah, loneliness. Oh, I can't forget about loneliness now, can I? Yes, obviously being in debt, not being able to find a good job, working minimum wage, working mundane jobs. It's going to affect your attitude. It's going to affect your disposition in life, not really having much success, or relatively speaking. Now, I got to say, relatively speaking, you got to remember, I hold myself to really high standards. And why is that? Because it's the way I was raised. My biological dad was he worked for the government, and he was in a really high up position. And I mean, he was like really high up there. My first stepdad worked for the Boeing company in sales. He was also an engineer, software engineer. He was good at computer program. He was really high up in the Boeing company. And then he ended up trying to run his own business. And then my second stepdad, he was a really successful in sales. I want to say it was sales, but so basically all the paternal side of my family were hugely successful. I mean, they were high up positions. So I grew up in an environment. The house I grew up in is valued at like $2.4 million. Growing up, I think my parents paid like $280,000 for it. Now it's worth $2.4 million. So I grew up in a really affluent environment, and so that's ingrained in my mind. So relatively speaking, I feel like I haven't been successful. That's why I emphasize relatively. And so I'm going to hold myself to these high standards. Got to get myself, work my way up to being a data scientist and ultimately a machine learning engineer. So it's going to start off by getting myself a job, ideal as a data analyst. And if I get lucky upon graduating with my master's degree in data science, having 2 years of experience as a data analyst, I'll be able to work my way up or find a job as a data scientist and perhaps even a data scientist, machine learning engineer. So that's going to help eradicate loneliness because good career, financial security, improved mood, improved attitude, more resources for therapy, all kinds of therapy, speech language pathologists, dating coaches, relationship coaches. I mean, I could see like 7 different therapists in the same week, get like 7 to 10 hours of therapy a week, really devote on improving my lost social skills. I mean, it's a win-win situation. So that's Debbie Downer number 5 that would be eradicated. So I want to thank you all for joining me on this live stream. If not, you can catch it, when it's uploaded in full, but I'm not going to end it quite there yet because, like I said, hopefully there will be an end to this Debbie Downer saga because I know some of you out there, probably want to see, the continuation of this Debbie Downer saga. But in all reality, if you guys are into sagas and you want to really have a saga in your life, well, I prefer maybe stick to like Candy Crush Saga or Candy Crush Friend Saga. I mean, those are sagas you should really be focusing on. I mean, if you want to have any kind of saga in your life. And as a matter of fact, there's this one game, this Candy Crush game that I've been playing. Let me just kind of quickly load up here. And it's one of my favorite games because, like I said, the Debbie Downer saga needs to come to an end. But when I play this one game called Candy Crush Saga Friends, and I'm going to load it up here, there's this character here. I don't know if you can see that character. I apologize for the video quality. You see that character there? Well, I'm going to play this game, and he's one of my favorite characters because what he does is, you see, I know it's hard to see, but you see like those blue. It's kind of hard to tell. But if you play the game, you've got these blue candies, and if you get 10 of them, I think if you get 10 of them, if I can hurry up and make this happen here while I'm making this live video. Okay, so I can turn the volume. You're not going to be able to probably hear this. I'll try to increase the volume a little bit, but see, as soon as you get like 10 of those blue candies, the character goes like, ooh! And then once you get that 12th once you get that 12th blue candy, okay, so now I'm going to click on this blue candy. Okay, so I think should have blue candy. See, that's my favorite. As soon as you get 12 blue candies, he goes like, hey! And so what he's doing is he's basically helping you out to crush those candies. And so that's kind of what I got to think of it. I got to think of each project I do, I'm having that character build up a snowball, and to the point where I finish all projects, he will have built up that snowball, and he will toss it at my Debbie Downer Saga, and he will go, hey! Towards my Debbie Downer Saga, and finally put it to an end. So that's my Debbie Downer. That's my video on kind of my experience these past 4 years as being a Debbie Downer Donnelly. Because, like I said, these past 4 years, on up to about a couple of weeks ago, when I finally discovered this Udacity nanodegree program, I've been focusing on that these past couple of weeks. So pretty much from the fall of September 2015 all the way up till about a couple of weeks ago, I've been pretty much what I refer to as a Debbie Downer era, the Debbie Downer Donnelly era, or the Debbie Downer Saga. So, like I said, it's time to put the Debbie Downer Saga to rest. Go find yourself some other sagas to keep yourself entertained with. Oh, there won't be a saga. I mean, there's always a saga when it comes to there's always going to be a saga when it comes to my channel. And that is a saga of making a successful career change. Yes, the saga of going from exercise science to data science. That should be like, yeah. Or the saga of defying the age and making a successful career change. So I take that back. There's always going to be a saga. I mean, there's always, in life, there's always going to be sagas. It's just you've got the negative sagas and the positive sagas. So there you have it. That's been kind of like a summary of these past 4.5 years as Debbie Downer Donnelly, debt, potential homelessness, loneliness, singlehood, random roommates, tiny apartments, living next to campus, worst living conditions and living in a trailer park. I mean, it's like Debbie Downer. I mean, it's a wonderful world of Debbie Downer Donnelly Miller. So I'm going to end it on that. Go, if you guys have the ability, download the Candy Crush Saga app or Candy Crush Friend Saga and enjoy some sagas. And you guys can continue to enjoy sagas here on my YouTube channel as well. And hopefully there'll be a lot less Debbie Downers and more positive sagas. So I'm going to end it now. Thank you all for watching. Peace out.